Hey y'all, what's going on? Okay, so with surgery 18 days away, that's been the main thing on my mind lately. And this is a really weird time for me because, I'm like super excited about surgery, and yet it's all so very, very surreal. It's kind of hard to believe that it's actually happening. But there's a lot of nervousness surrounding surgery on a couple different accounts. One of the big ones is the management at work is trying to mess with me pretty bad. I think it's kind of funny how the day that I gave them the professional heads up that, I had my consult the next day, and that I'd be telling them shortly when surgery is, that I end up on a DML, which is decision-making leave / a third level. It's basically, it's serious. It's breathe wrong and you lose your job. And I think that the unit director is trying to get me on this DML, because if you call in on a DML, you lose your job. And if she gets me on this DML before surgery, I have to get my surgery time off approved or I lose my job. And so I'm really nervous about that. But I think that if I call in and I have the doctor's note, I don't think that there's anything they can do. And unfortunately, the unit director is as high as I can go as far as answers to, if I call in for surgery, do I lose my job? And she's going to tell me yes, and I don't have the right answers for sure. I don't know. And then there's more nervousness just because I dislike surgery in general. I hate general anesthesia. You feel like crap for a couple days after. I don't really have an issue with nausea. That's never been a big deal to me. But I don't like the idea of needles and knives, and I've never really been a big fan of plastic surgery at all. But it's something that I have to do to get to where I want. And another big fear is, and I'm pretty sure any guy that's, been through surgery has had this issue, is, yeah, all his results that I see look phenomenal, but what happens if mine don't? That I don't know. I trust in his ability, and more than anything, it's lack of trust in myself to do what I need to do to heal properly. I know I've got a pretty gnarly Superman complex. Both times when I've broken my ankle, I've been up and walking in 2 weeks. I know I shouldn't be, but I do. And I'm just hoping that I have the self-restraint to understand that I've only got one shot at healing this for minimal scars and best appearance and so on and so forth. So I'm hoping that I can do that. And then I learned yesterday that my mom for sure isn't going to come to surgery. But that's because she's going to be out of town. And yeah, I probably should have asked her, will you be available to come if you wanted to? So, and that brings up a lot of things. That brings up, A, I'll never know if she would have come or not. And B, I don't know if I want her there, and that's awful to say, but I'm so scared that she would ruin such a big day for me. And that's absolutely awful to say, but it's the truth. Which leads me to think, is my dad going to be there? And my dad works out of town, so if he, and My dad doesn't take off work. I love him to death and wouldn't trade him for the world. But he does not take off work. The man works way too hard. I wish I had a third of his work ethic. But I think that if my dad can be cool, I would really like him to be there. Plus, it would put a pretty interesting twist because, you know, I met Sam's parents at her surgery, and my parents haven't met Sam because they don't want her at their house. They're just not open to it. But how funny would it be if we met each other's parents at each other's surgeries? But on the other hand, you know, I'm not too worried about it because I'm going to have one heck of a crew in that waiting room. Hope Dr. Raphael doesn't mind. I've got all these friends telling me, you know, I want to be there, I want to be there. And I would love for them to be there. But in all honesty, there's only about 4 people I'm going to care to see after surgery. And that's Sam. And of course, Cole's going to want to be there, and I'll want him to be there. And my little sister's going to want to be there, and I want her there in the room with me in recovery for a little bit. And then one of my best friends, Lynn, was talking about coming, and it'd be pretty cool to have her there too. But I'm not sure how many people they're going to let back. And I've got to, you know, tell them that when I start showing signs of coming to, they need to get Sam back there because I want Sam to be the first face I see, you know, coming out of it. So, yeah. And then I was thinking about it, another really weird thing is, you know, as much as I hate those binders, it's going to be really weird to not wear one. After so long, I think it's become a bit of a security blanket to me, you know. I won't go out in public without it. So it's going to be really weird not to go out in public with it. But then I was thinking that here in a couple months, just when things are starting to look pretty decent, it's going to be time to go to the lake. And I cannot wait to dive off that cliff into the lake without a shirt on for the first time. That is going to be... Oh, God. I need to videotape that first time jumping in the water without a shirt. It's going to be awesome. But I mean, yeah, you know, I'm going to have to wear a shirt most of the time because you don't want to expose those scars to sun too early. It causes them to be even worse. But anyways, I've rambled enough. But that's what's going through my head at the moment as far as surgery. I guess I'll catch up with y'all later. Bye.